Hey guys, today we're going to be taking a look at the Is-1, the Tier 3 battle rating 5.3 Russian heavy tank. It used to be a 5.7 battle rating, but recently had its battle rating reduced because it was, well, pretty bad at 5.7, combined with some buffs and this 85mm cannon, and it makes for a pretty good tank at a 5.3. As nothing at 5.3 really has the penetration to go through its armor. However, its problems don't come from when it's at 5.3. Its problems come from when it's 5.7, 6.3, 6.3. So it has issues. But through angling and side scraping and APCR shells, you can generally make it work at any battle rating you will play. The toughest opponent you will fight is the Tiger 2P, which you can pen its turret cheeks so long as you aim for the flat parts. So it generally doesn't have too many issues at its current battle rating, and it is a fairly good tank. It is not the most mobile tank on the planet. It has about the mobility slightly worse than a Tiger, so it's definitely heavy tank mobility. It's nothing to write home about. Now, this thing does have a special ability to drive backwards, though. You don't see me do it because I can't. The controls, they just mess with my mind. But you will see people driving this thing backwards because it's a pain to try and pen through the back if it's angled. So that's just something to keep in mind if you get bored one day and you're like, oh, I want to drive this IS-1 backwards. You can do it, and it's just as mobile in reverse, and like you don't lose gun depression because it's a Russian tank, so it doesn't have any. So pros of this tank are armor, gun to an extent, and, well, that's about it. Its mobility isn't that great, as I've mentioned, but the reason I say the gun is sort of a good point is its fragmentation is amazing. Its penetration is, for a 5.3, very good. It's got very, very good normalization on its shells. However, it will struggle when you're fighting 6.3s, like I said, Tiger 2s. From the side, it doesn't tend to like very much. Now, I mentioned driving this thing backwards before, and that will affect some of the things I do in this battle, because, well, that's it. I know I can do it. So I'm just kind of circling this capture point here, because I know there's something on it, because we're not capping it. But, so I do eventually find what it is, and it drives out right in front of me, as that was actually a T-44. However, it is actually behind me. I believe it was a Hellcat. So, there it is. Now, I don't understand that shot whatsoever. My crosshair was definitely behind that tank, but, I guess this game's hit registration is paying me back for this morning. However, this morning was a tournament. So many cringe moments. Anyways, so now we can finally cap the point, and we haven't really had a chance to show off what this thing's armor can do. You should be afraid of the British 17-pounder cannons firing Sabo, and even things like the Sherman Firefly can, on occasion, give you issues if you don't angle it properly. You can see what I mean by the armor on the back of the tank. That was a shot from a Hellcat, or a Comet rather, that just did absolutely nothing. It's the second one into the turret cheek, but it was angled, put one right through his upper plate, because it's a Comet. So that just goes to show what this thing's armor on the back is like, and the frontal armor is just as good. However, if you do try and angle, it does, as I mentioned in my IS-2 video, have some have some flat spots if you angle it out, but there's nothing you can do about that, which is why you will see people driving this tank backwards, because you can get away with it, and it can actually be more effective sometimes because the rear plate is almost as thick as the front, but you can angle it at 45 degrees. So there is that as a pro. So, put another shot into a Sherman. As I said, this thing's cannon is very, very good at killing anything like that. The only thing it does struggle with, as I already mentioned again, is Tiger 2s. I should really make these videos earlier in the day so I don't repeat myself as often, but that's okay. So now the enemy team is capturing the A point, so we're going to just drive the IS-1 backwards because I'm too lazy to turn it around, and I don't really have to. So when you drive it like this, it's basically like having a rear-mounted turret with basically no gun depression whatsoever, but you can still shoot at tanks behind you. It's not like some tanks where the gun actually gets elevated as it goes across the back of the turret, or back of the hull. So, do keep that in mind. T-44 knocks it out, so we're basically just going to capture the point, and we're nearing the end of the actual action in this video. So, some final thoughts on this tank are, is it worth getting if you're going down the Russian tree? Yeah, it can be in combination with the T-3045 D5T, also at a 5.3 battle rating with the 85mm cannon, can make for a very strong pairing. The combination of tanks is very strong. You have a light, unarmored, mobile, medium, and a not so mobile but good gun, good armored heavy tank. And you can also throw in the Su-85M into that lineup with another 85mm cannon, which is also capable of bouncing shots from the Hellcats and so on and so forth. I might do a video on that one tomorrow, as it is also a part of the Kursk 77 lineup that I will be live streaming on my Twitch page. But, yeah, so we're basically just going to drive back towards the bridge, find ourselves another Sherman, and we're going to kill said Sherman that my team for some reason cannot see. So, as we get to the end of the video, I am curious how many people have watched this far, and if you're still watching, comment down below, Valkyrie has AIDS, and make sure you press that subscribe button, and I'll catch you guys next time.